Good evening, this is Eswatini TV News at 8, read to you by myself, Natile Sitole, alongside Nomakabiso Ngambule. First up, let's have a look at our headlining stories. The Ministry of Commerce will be reviewing the Trading Licenses Bill and the Cooperatives Bill. The Minister of Labour, Philip Telezi, says there is a need to engage with the youth and make use of available skills. The National Disaster Management Agency will dispense an over 13 million emalangeni to beneficiaries of the 700 emalangeni cash-based transfer household grant on Monday night. And now the news in detail. The Ministry of Commerce has held a meeting with the Senior Portfolio Committee to review two bills, namely the Trading Licenses Bill and the Cooperatives Bill. The meeting was held at Sibane Hotel in Eswatini.
The Minister of Commerce held a meeting with the Senate Portfolio Committee to review two acts, mainly the Trading License Bill and the Cooperative Bill. There are sections that need to be reviewed in order to remove the bottlenecks in the processes and procedures for starting a business and obtaining a business, as well as renewing trading licenses. The Minister of Commerce, Mangoba Kumalo, says the ministry has aligned itself to improving efficiency of management, accelerating the growth of industry, investments and trade, as well as developing the informal sector and MSMEs, as well as removing obstacles in the business environment.
The Trading Licenses Order Amendment Bill of 2020, Bill number 15 of 2020. Sibuka nje indlela yokwenta ukuthi osomabhizinisi labancane nalabakhulu kube lula lokuthola le trading license ukuze futhi eliminate mhlawumbe barriers that have been identified by our customers, in this case the business community. Kunama amendments ke lathi lesiwaproposako lesitawucela ukuthi diphuma diwabukete lamuhla sifike lapho khona sesibona khona ukuthi kuba lula ukuthola i-trading license, kuba lula ukurenew i-trading license. Iphupho lethu sisetiko ukuthi konke lokhu sifuna sigcina sikwele electronically kube hassle free and within 24 hours of applying onke ama-documents akho aphelele uthole the trading license, and this is one more step in that journey. Sitapheze ngesikhuluma nge-cooperatives bill. Tinhlangano ema-cooperatives likhona itiko la commerce, Senate President Honorable Chair. Sitibona ti-very kahle ukuthuthukisa live at grassroots level, because mawubuka noma Youth Empowerment Fund, noma ubuka i-Regional Development Fund, konke lokhu ukhangele ethenini bantu bakhona kwena lihlangano tibe vibrant, so ke nakhona lapho kunema changes that sithi leswa proposal sitawuhamba through wona mhlawumbe in the afternoon. Hlelo to asibulutse kakhulu in terms of the number of things we want to achieve, but we are hoping for very meaningful engagement and we are hoping for breakthrough feedback.
The minister says there is need to reform the current legislation to improve organizational outcomes and to harmonize Eswatini's competition policy with international and regional competition frameworks. The CEO of the Eswatini Competition Commission, Muzi Dlamini, says companies and businesses need to practice fair competition both for the benefit of consumers and other businesses. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian Msibi with Sanzi Somlambo at Sibane Hotel, Ezulwini.
The Minister of Labour, Philip Telezi, says there is a need to engage with the youth and make use of available skills that they have that the industry needs. The minister made these remarks during the 2022 Career Expo that was held at the Hilton Garden Inn in Babane.
The youth in Eswatini is rich with different skills. Unfortunately, they lack the platforms to showcase their skills and make it to the corporate industry. The Minister of Labour held the 2022 Career Expo where they engaged in talks and in dialogue with the youth, as well as the different skills they may have and how they can make it to the industry and nurture the skills they have. Despite unemployment rate relatively high, especially amongst the youth, they still believe they have what it takes to change the industry and the country. The Minister of Labour, Philip Telezi, says they are prepared to support Maswati.
This Career Expo focuses on youth both in and out of school. where young people are afforded the opportunity to align their already identified skills with the current industry needs and emerging skills needed to venture into business to curb the high rate of unemployment. Young entrepreneurs will demonstrate how skills inculcated at an early age produce productivity and innovation. May I appeal to learners to get assistance from schools and out-of-school youth to put everything aside to go to their Tingonla centers to access the Career Expo online from tomorrow, the 10th of May, until the 12th of May, beginning at 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
The Minister of Culture and Youth Affairs, Harris Bulunga, encouraged the youth never to give up and contact the ministry for assistance where the need arises.
One glaring aspect is the fact that our curriculum, be it at basic level or tertiary level, no longer addresses the needs of the country. Hence, the problem that our ministry is sitting with, that of youth unemployment. We are quite aware that the unemployment issue is not just about the lack of skills. Yes, we do have a section that lacks the necessary skills, but we are also talking about skilled people, graduates that are sitting at home. So it means that somehow there's a disconnect in terms of our production, a disconnect in terms of what we are producing for the industries, and we need somehow to reset as a country.
Speakers included in school youth organizations, companies, as well as universities. Organizations like Eswatini National Youth Council, Junior Achievement, amongst others, are there to nurture skills and support the youth. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian Msibi, Mbabane.
The Minister for Commerce, Industry and Trade, Mangoba Khumalo, says government is committed to supporting youth entrepreneurs through different institutions. Khumalo was speaking during the official launch of the Eswatini Youth Entrepreneurship Summit, where he was represented by the Director for SMEs, Mluleki Dlamini.
The first Eswatini Youth Entrepreneurship Summit is hosted under the theme that speaks to changing young people's lives through business, industry and trade, who was represented by the SMEs Director. Mluleki Dlamini says the summit will help young people to be able to reach their full potential.
As government of the Kingdom of Eswatini, our mission is to support such interventions so that we ensure Eswatini recovery from the challenges that we are facing as a country. So we basically look at the summit in terms of it will foster inclusiveness, thought-provoking, constructive debate, inspiring Eswatini's future through the youth. The public and private sector has come together to offer leadership and support to the young, brilliant minds, and this day marks one of the most exciting moments in youth entrepreneurship in the country.
The Junior Achievements Chairperson Representative Sabelo Msibi says the summit will allow the country to fight issues of unemployment among young people.
We do realize that young people are facing a big challenge in business, startup, and growth, including but not limited to the following: access to finance and operating structures, working capital, working equipment, market, just to name a few, the market itself, where laboratory sensor corner their produce.
A representative of the Junior Achievement alumni, Mlungisi Mdluli, says being part of Junior Achievement helped him to be able to write business plans and manage his business, which is growing.
lwati ngekubhala i-business plan ukuthi uyithola njani nangetimali ngokuthi nasebhizinisini imali uyisebenzisa njani imali yebhizinisi iba yebhizinisi phindze ke ngase ngiba nenhlanhla lengathi ibonus ngathola imali lenganga 20,000 le grant ngetigaba letehlukene tokwenta ibhizinisi so kungisite kakhulu nje ngisho ke ukuthi ube ngibaba wabangimake ongithuthukisile kakhulu namhlanje ngithola lethuba ukuthi ngakhuluma nani ngenxa ya JA. Nangicala JA ngacala ngenikuku tasemakhaya basifundisa ukuthi ibhizinisi ifana nemvana yinvo lekhulako ayimzawonye ngathuthuka kwaba nemigwaja mva nje ngase ngithola lenye imali ukuthi ngichubeke ngende tinyosi so sengimfuyi wetinyosi nanyana ebhizinisini kuyasebenteka ngete ngacambe mangakona tingcinamba tibakhona kimi nje nyalo le ngufeyisa kakhulu tindzaba transport cause bengivame ukucasha imoto so nyalo timvo tikhuphukile eveni njengoba gasolina so sekulukhuni kusebenta.
The Eswatini Youth Entrepreneurship Summit will now be hosted each year and is expected to end on Friday. For Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni with Vuminkosinzinisa in Manzini.
Financial institutions and companies that provide seed capital for young people have pledged to support young people with their business needs. This was revealed by the FinCorp Managing Director Dumsani Msibi, who was representing junior achievement partners during the Youth Empowerment Summit held in Manzini.
The Eswatini Youth Entrepreneurship Summit will have many topics of interest in the world of business being discussed. Some of these topics includes the issue of markets and opportunities that young people can plug in. According to the FinCorp Managing Director, Dumsani Msibi, who spoke on behalf of Junior Achievements Partners, says they believe that the summit will go a long way towards raising entrepreneurial awareness among young people in Eswatini.
Opportunity to commend the team at JA, our host of today, for their perseverance in nurturing young people. I know it's not easy. In making sure that they are economically active, innovative, creative, and also they are socially responsible citizens. To all the young people of this country, this is the time for you to share your stories, your experiences, your ideas and your aspirations, and to inspire and motivate one another. The future of this country, I dare repeat, is in your hands. But we don't just want to only listen to your ideas, we also want to see them come to fruition.
The Domestic Trade Promotion Manager Sihle Ngabinde says the country imports 80% of food that is consumed in Eswatini. He says that the country also imports tons of maize, which is some of the produce that young people can tap into.
I-presentation yethu namuhla ibuka lokuthi ngumaphi ama-opportunities la ungakhanza khona ukuthi umuntu lomusha can take advantage of i-survey maybe abone ukuthi yena ngabe angalekelela ngakuphi. You can be surprised ukuthi in terms of umbila lesinawo lesungenisako la eveni it's in hundreds of millions lo ungakhanza ukuthi mhlambe thina simaswati singakhona ukulimela supply kubo bona laba nathana laba uthingako la kangwane.
Msibi further encouraged the nation to take full benefit of the demographic dividend presented by the abundance of young people in Eswatini. For Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni with Vuminkosinzinisa in Manzini.
The National Disaster Management Agency will dispense an over 13 million emalangeni to beneficiaries of the 700 emalangeni cash-based transfer household grant on Monday night. According to the Disaster Director Victor Mahlalela, a total of 18,669 households will receive the money. Mahlalela was speaking during a press conference in Babane.
The National Disaster Management Agency is expected to disperse the 700 emalangeni cash-based transfer household grants donated by the Cash Foundation. According to the Disaster Director Victor Mahlalela, this will be the fourth phase of the 72 million emalangeni distribution process.
Sesi-dispensile noma sesitholile lengama up to 48 million up to date. Lokusho ukuthi sekusele sende 2 more payments. Sifike ekugcineni kwalolu hlelo lesitawukwenda ke lamuhla ukuthi sende our 4th disbursement kule program. Sithi ke asingene sicale ngekucwayisa isiveni kusho ukuthi siyatithola letinkingo lapho khona kuba khona abantu laba bashayelako abafune imininingwane yabo letsite babatshele ukuthi bafanele ngabathola imali engaka kodwa nyalo sekutawa ufanele ukuthi ababanikele information ukuze bathole more. Sithi nje siyi-NDMA yazivekele ukuthi imali yethu lesiyikhiphako i-fixed at 700 per household lapho khona lihlelo lethu litawukhavarisha cishe lokungenani enkundleni yinye lukhavarisha about 300 households kuto tonke tinkundla to 59. So lamhlanje losikhuluma sibhekile ke ukuthi si reach about 18,669 households kuto tonke tinkundla tase-Eswatini.
Mahlalela also warned members of the public about an ongoing scam that targets beneficiaries. Mahlalela says the Maswati should be on the lookout for a scammer who calls herself Mage Dlamini, who poses as an NDMA staff. He says that NDMA doesn't in any way require beneficiary personal information like mobile PIN codes or passwords. For Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni with Giani Msibi in Babane.
Several people were stabbed during a drinking spree in one of the drinking spots in Pigs Peak and had to be rushed to Pigs Peak Hospital, where they continued stabbing each other until one was left in a critical state. We have a report.
A drinking spree in one of the drinking spots in Pigs Peak ended in mayhem as people in the bar stabbed one another and many were injured and had to be rushed to Pigs Peak Government Hospital, where the brawl unfortunately continued, and they continued stabbing one another inside the hospital's wards, which led to one severely injured and admitted, while some were treated and discharged. Nurses had to run for cover to protect their lives. The Chief Police Information Communications Officer, Superintendent Pindile Vilagati, confirmed the incident.
Kube khona sithungithungi lesendekile lapha edolobheni laseSpiki ngelisonto kusihlwa lapho khona endaweni ekujabulisa kubonakale emaqembu lathide sekahlaselana ngayo imikhwa la kugcine khona kuba khona labalimalako kuthi noma kusaqala lo msindvo avele emaphoyisa abekhuta kulo msindvo kwabonakala ukuthi noma sekahambile achubeka lo msindvo obakhona laba bekunene ke banele kube balimatane baphuthumisa esibhedlela lo lebekalimele abavele balandzela bashona khona esibhedlela nakhona kwaba ngumsindvo impela loyayetulu bahlaselana ngayo imikhwa ngenhlanhla ke liphoyisa vele labanaso sibinzi langena khona lapha lelinye lisaphuthume kulandza labangasita kulekelela kulesimo leli ngenile ke lakhona kusehlisa lesimo sibuye phasi bakhona nalabo lababukela indzaba tetempilo ukuthi baphume la bese bavele babalekele khona babuye batowusebenza umsebenzi wekulapha labo labalimetene kugcine ke kuba namonye lo laliswa kwesibhedlela ngako lokulimala laba ke labanye balashiwe baphuma babuyela khona emakhaya singasho nje sithi siyacela kubanjiswa ngeso sive kakhulu etindzabeni tekuphatha tilimato etindzaweni tekutijabulisa solo kuyachubeka kuyakhombisa ukuthi vele akusisinto tindzawo tekutijabulisa sicela kakhulu bosomabhizinisi bacinise indzaba security kuhlolisisa ukuthi bantu abangena endzaweni ekutijabulisa kanye netilimato siphinde sikwekhute kakhulu kwelokuthi noma senilimetene nihambe niyochubeka nento yomsindvo nala kunebantu noma labagulako njengabo laba besisibhedlela kuphathamiseke nabo bonesi emsebentini yekulapha sona sive bagcine besatshiswa akukabi intfo lenhle lena sithi sive senkosi asitigweme tintfo letifana naleto.
The Director of Health Services, Dr. Vusima Kagula, says there is need to beef up security in hospitals, but they will be conducting an investigation as to what happened and what took place at Pigs Peak Government Hospital, because that may have put other patients' life at risk. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Giani Msibi, Mbabane.
And now we'll have a look at our financial markets.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Good evening once again. You are still watching Eswatini TV. Let's have a look at our sports news. Royal Leopard head coach Edwin Matsebula says his side does not have an advantage, having now opened the league gap to 3 points after their 3-0 victory against Tambuti. This follows the weather conditions that affected 3 games that were forced to be cancelled, where 2 of them involved Mbabane Highlanders and Mbabane Swallows, who are also vying for the title.
M10 Premier League games entered day 26 this past weekend, with log leaders Royal Leopard collecting maximum points against Tambuti in their 3-0 victory, which means they are now 61 points, leaving behind Mbabane Highlanders, who are 58 points, with the game in hand after their game against Banda Chiefs at Galanga Stadium in Stegi was cancelled due to weather conditions. And Mbabane Swallows, who have now dropped to 4th with also a game in hand after their game against Abanguru Kedis was also cancelled due to weather conditions. Leopard coach Edwin Matsebura says the situation does not put his side in a better position as anything can change in the remaining 4 games of his team. Matsebura went on to emphasize that for his team, the focus is already on their next game against Bafana Highlanders, which means they have now been accorded more time as it was supposed to be played this coming Wednesday, but Highlanders will have to replay their match against Marandi Chiefs. Buffaloes have moved to 3rd with 56 points after their 3-0 victory against Denver Sundowns. The other games that was cancelled due to weather conditions that will be replayed on Wednesday will be between Green Mamba and Monini Pirates. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Mbabane.
Dinyosi Football Club have moved 3 places up in their MTN Premier League log after their 1-0 victory against Manzini Seabirds. Dinyosi have now put themselves in the right seat to avoid relegation with their 4 games remaining in the title.
For the longest period of the second run of the MTN Premier League, Dinyosi Football Club were seated at the bottom of the log, having now collected maximum points against Manzini Seabirds this past weekend. In their 1-0 victory, they have moved 3 places up, where they are seated 13th with 22 points. Team coach Julius Chakupewa believes they are moving in the right direction to avoid relegation.
Yes, the mandate is to stay up, and I think the fate is in our hands. There are still 4 games to play, and I think this win does us a very good favor, so we must just keep pushing and stay up. But I'm happy the boys are coming up. The boys are showing the hunger and the desire to stay up in the elite league, and as a coach it only encourages me to keep motivating them.
Dinyosi are left with 4 games against Abanguru Kedis, Manzini Wanderers, Monini Pirates and against Tambuti. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Mbabane.
That's all for now. Before we go, let's have a look at our headlining stories.
The Ministry of Commerce will be reviewing the Trading Licenses Bill and the Cooperatives Bill. The Minister of Labour, Philip says there is a need to engage with the youth and make use of available skills. The National Disaster Management Agency will dispense an over 13 million emalangeni to beneficiaries of the 700 emalangeni cash-based transfer household grant on Monday night.
And with that, we sum up our bulletin for the evening. Up next is a weather update. From myself and the team, thank you for your company. Good night.
Utsandvo lusekhona, tinyembeti letesula, umphalo wekukhatsateka lawetfula, alunamgomo, lofana nemfula lukheleta busuku nemini, imini, iletsa litsemba nebusuku bekukwetsena ngibucocele letivutsa sigodzi sonke tindzaba letishisako telutsandvo. Vula ntfombe ngifake tetsembiso, ngikufunde ngelibusatsa lelicwebetela mine nawe.
Are you happy with the intimacy that we share?
What's your biggest fear?
I just want to thank you for being a loving husband.
And I've said this many times before, but you've got my heart and you always will.
All the best love stories have one thing in common. They go against the craziest odds, and every love story or journey is beautiful. Don't miss these Swazi love stories every Saturday at 5:30 p.m. exclusive to Eswatini TV.
Impela mfana bantfu sengifikile futhi ngijike ngaphandle kwale yakho inhlitiyo noma ungaze uthi.
Pay your TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo.
Simply dial *007 *3 hash and select option 8 for TV license. Enter your national ID number as your reference and the